Hi everyone, welcome back
Hello.
to the Learning Curve SG podcast, the podcast where we talk about everything and anything, not just regarding PE, but also learning as well. So today we are very glad to have Miss Mary over here, who is a covering senior teacher for FCE, to be on today's episode to talk about establishing interaction and rapport. Why is it important for us to have that in our classroom to actually develop positive classroom culture itself? So thank you so much, Mary, for being on today's episode.
Thank you for
Yeah, I
having me,
really
Damon.
appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Yeah, so maybe first off, let's start off with the why, because I think it's important for our
Okay.
audience to know why we do what we do.
Okay.
So can I just ask you, why do you think it's important to build relationships with our students? Why is interaction and rapport so important?
Okay. I believe it is the keystone for a teacher to reach a student,
Right.
because I know the bread and butter of our job is to teach, right?
Yes, yes.
But for our teaching to be successful, there needs to be a relationship between student and teacher. And if that relationship is not developed, teaching is not going to be as successful. It will not be as meaningful if there's no relationship between the teacher and the student. Because from my experience with the many students that I've taught over different age groups,
Yes.
the minute trust and rapport is built, the student not only responds better to wanting to study the subject, but they also motivated and inspired to want to learn more about what it is that makes the subject tick and even beyond anything else that's relevant. But only when there is that rapport built with the teacher. I guess fundamentally human beings are relationship oriented.
Yes.
And that's why, especially when we take on groups like the teenagers we teach in secondary school, they are really at a dynamic stage of growth.
Yes.
So whoever they see as a reliable role model, someone I can trust, they will listen. And that also falls onto the academics. So I wouldn't be, not that I'm not saying that we don't craft our lessons properly.
Yeah.
But if we want our lessons to be successful, we need to first build a relationship with our students.
Yeah. Okay, so I hear that you are saying that fundamentally teaching and learning requires communication.
Definitely, yes.
And communication is one of the key things to help one another learn. And in order for us to have that communication established between the teacher and the student, the interaction and rapport has to be there first.
Yes.
So it acts as a bridge between ourselves as teachers and the students who are the learners for us in our classroom itself.
Yeah.
And only then, when the interaction and rapport is established, communication lines are linked up properly, then the motivation to learn by the students actually increases, which therefore makes them more receptive towards what they are supposed to learn in the classroom itself.
The motivation and the reception actually work together, because the teacher can then, it's like a doorway for us.
Yeah.
The minute my student trusts me, there's a sort of rapport going on already. I have that avenue to now motivate the student to do better. And there are many ways to motivate a student.
Yeah. So I totally agree also, because if we don't have that trust that is based on solid, rapport and interaction between the teacher and student, right? I think it's very hard to get things going, because if everything is dependent on the teacher to do the teaching, and if the student is not actually receptive to what the teacher is saying within the lesson itself, I think nothing really happens in terms of proper learning.
That's true.
Yeah, so maybe can I move on to the next question, whereby can you maybe share about what are your thoughts as to whether if building interaction and rapport, is it just a feel-good factor that our students should have, or is it actually something crucial to help students develop their competencies like collaboration as well as communication as well?
Okay. Feel good, yes, of course they will feel good if they know they can communicate with you, and they have a rapport with you. but it also, of course, teaches them interpersonal skills, definitely, because of to build a rapport, you need constant communication. So, in a sense, when a teacher does that, we are actually role modeling what's it like to build a healthy relationship. That's why it's so important for teachers to make a conscious effort, because it doesn't. We cannot rely on, or I'll naturally just get to know my students. Being human, we will naturally want to get to know those that we can connect with better. But as a teacher, it is I would say it's our duty. I won't even say job, but it's our duty to reach out to the students that we teach. Whoever that is under our charge, it is our duty to reach out to these students and do our best to get to know them. And of course, that's where, there are various strategies to break the ice, build that relationship. Some are some are easier than others, but nonetheless, every student counts. As I'm speaking to you, actually, a lot of faces are coming to my mind. The various students that are on different ends of the pole, those who are very easy for me to communicate with because we're on more or less the same wavelength.
Yeah.
But there are those that pose different challenges. But nonetheless, I always tell myself, get to know them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. Yes, I like the part where you mentioned about role modeling. Yeah, because we want our students to be able to communicate with one another and collaborate with one another very well.
Yes.
But if the teacher is not able to actually role model positive communication, positive collaboration, then they pick up basically negative examples. Yeah, thinking that it's actually okay to speak in a way that is top down or not so positive.
So, sorry to cut you there.
Yeah,
because
no
basically, to pick up on that, right? Positive communication. So not only language, but you're right. It's also the way we speak.
Yeah.
If we want our students to learn what it means to collaborate with each other, to have team spirit, to have respect for each other, then the way we carry ourselves in conversation, whether it's with them or even with each other in front of them, has to be very, we need to be careful with how we carry ourselves. Because if we want to build and instill in them, a sense of respect when building relationships and positive communication, we need to show that as well.
Yeah, so it starts from the teacher, role modeling. The students pick up from the teacher as they model what their teacher is doing. The teacher observes, gives positive affirmation, all right, explains to them why they are doing that actually benefits them. They get more motivated to want to actually be more positive with one another, and I think we built a virtuous cycle. To help instill the positive communication as well as collaboration within them. And when that happens, we see better interaction, better rapport between students to students, as well as students back to teachers again. So I think this is a good, example which I've mentioned, that we see the idea of behaving in a way that is positive to get things going, to develop that positive interaction and rapport culture within the classroom. So that's how I see it. That's how I see what you have just shared
It's more or less
with us. Then maybe can you also share with our audience on what are some of the strategies which you have tried out to develop that good and positive interaction and rapport between yourself and your students? Because I do see that you have a very good interaction between you and your students during your FCE lessons, as well as during your form teachership classes.
Okay. There are a few things that I do. I think way back when I first started as a teacher, there was this workshop I attended, and one thing stuck with me: the 60-second hello. So what it is, basically, this trainer taught us, and it really works. Pick any random student that you happen to see that day, and preferably a student that hardly speaks in class.
Okay.
And just talk about anything but your lesson.
Mm.
Yeah, means say a simple hello. Maybe if you can observe right there and then they're maybe getting ready for CCA or something, start conversations about that. These are just short touch points.
Yes.
But if it happens regular enough, this student, from being quieter in class, will start speaking up. It's happened many times for my quieter students over different cohorts. So I mean the most recent one is my current form class. I had this student that was really very much reticent. The whole of Sec 1. He would hardly say anything to me, but
Okay.
I still kept on talking to him,
Yes.
and I would get monosyllabic answers, more like
Yeah.
yes, no, or hello, and then a shy smile, and he'll look away. This year, I get brighter hellos. He comes up to me and just purposely just to say hello, and then we will talk about whatever's happening. And then in class, he's more forthcoming to share
Yeah.
what's on his mind
Yeah.
and even answer questions in class.
Yeah.
So it took a year,
Yeah.
but I see the development of this student, and he's even gained more self-confidence.
Yeah.
So that's just one, the 60-second hello. I mean, can do it anytime. Get to know their interests. This one is a bit of a challenge because if every cohort, they are younger, we get older, but that's where onus is on us now to get to know what is really happening on the ground with them and pick the more popular ones. And honestly, if I don't know what's happening, like at one time, I mean, I didn't know what Roblox is all about. But when they kept on talking about it, I just picked any student that I was teaching, said, tell me more about Roblox. They were like, why do you want to know? I say, I'm interested because you guys are talking about it so much. And then there was this thing called Brawl Stars. And when we got them talking, I got them talking about it, that started to build rapport with that particular form class. This is another form class before this year. Then, okay, so common interests, get to know their birthdays. That's something I try my best to take note of. I had this student who was really, who's Sec 3, I remember, very, the macho kind that wants to keep quiet, that kind of thing, act like I know everything. And when the teacher speaks to him, it's like, chill, just chill, I know everything kind of thing. So anyway, one day I saw, hey, today is his birthday. So I just went up to him. I said, I have something really important to tell you.
Okay.
Then he was like worried. He thought something happened.
Okay.
I said, just want to wish you a happy birthday. And this biggest shock and then smile came on his face. I hardly saw that. But from that day on, for whatever reason, he started to speak to me more. So you see, I mean, all these personal touch points, I think students, they don't say it, or they might say, yeah, that's your teacher talking. But they do appreciate it. They do appreciate it when we reach out to them outside the classroom, outside subject area. That means we don't talk to them about how did you do for math, or this is a homework for FCE. It's more of like, so do you cook at home? That's my conversations usually. And if I pick a student, if I see a student for whatever reason he's so efficient with cleaning up his bench, I usually ask him, do you help out at home? And then from there I get conversations about him and his family, what he does at home. And then that makes the relationship a lot more, there's a lot more connection. And even when I go to class, it's not just a sea of faces I see and don't know. These are actual boys with different stories. And it makes teaching that more meaningful.
Yeah, correct. Sounds like the gist of it, right, is to create conversation opportunities.
Yes.
And you have shared that you can use the 60-second hello, getting to know their interests, and also find out about their birthdays.
Personal stuff like birthdays.
Yeah, and also be very sharp in noticing some of the good things that they've been doing in the classroom or in school.
Yes.
Yeah, so all these are opportunities to create for ourselves, okay, to get our students to get to know our students better, because it creates opportunities for communication.
Yes.
Yeah, but I also hear that there's this need for consistent interaction.
Yes.
This consistent communication to happen in order for the rapport to be built. Yeah. Because if we want rapport, we must start with the interaction. Yeah. So we create the opportunities for the interaction first. so that we can have the conversations with the students. And when we have the conversations with the students, over time, the rapport with them naturally will be built.
Yes.
And I think this is basically pulling the heartstrings of the students, because this gives the students this idea that the teacher actually bothers about them.
In a better, just one phrase, the teacher sees them.
Yeah, the teacher sees them.
I see
the teachers care for them.
Exactly.
Yeah. And the students will only learn when they believe that the teacher actually cares for them.
As a person.
Yeah,
not
correct.
just as another student, but as a person.
Yeah. Correct. Yeah. Otherwise, I think, like you rightfully mentioned earlier in what you have said, we humans are built to have communication and connection and relationship with one another. It's not just about coming for the lesson and delivering, the teacher just delivering the content and the students absorbing the content. I think over time, most of them will get demotivated if that is how we conduct our lessons.
And that's what makes our vocation different from any other professional career. Because anyone who wants to be a teacher needs to want to connect with people.
Yes.
It's not going to work if I come into teaching and it's just to do my job, set lessons and deliver them. Because if there's, it can work. I'm not saying it can't, but it will not be as successful. And I don't think we'll be doing our students the 100% service that they come to us for. You see, because they're only getting the academics. And they might as well honestly just go to a tuition center, because that's what they're going to get most of the time, just the academics. But in a school context, where there's form teacher time, where there are extracurricular activities, where there are enrichment activities on top of the formal academic activities, it's a holistic approach to the student, him or herself. So, to anyone who wants to be a teacher, I would say, you've got to ask yourself, am I willing to make the time to connect with my students? Because if I know that that's not so important to me, or I don't think I want to do it, or I can't, but it's a choice. Do I want to do it? If I want to do it, great. Then I would say teaching is the vocation for the person. I don't say it's a career, it's a vocation, because it is a service. It really is a big service industry.
My experience also tell me that once my rapport is better with the students, it's good with the students, it's easier to get them to do things, especially with regards to class projects, the VIA projects.
Because they know they can trust you. They know that what you're saying makes sense. And it's not just something that must be done, but there's no reason to it. Because I'm quite certain you explain to them why.
Yes.
And that's what a lot of us teachers do. I know in St. Gabriel's, the why. We are doing this because. It's not just do this, don't ask questions. We let our students ask questions because they need to.
Which means that we have to spend a little bit more time. We have to invest a little bit more time in the interaction phase.
Exactly.
To build that rapport. I think you've shared quite a few examples on how to build, the rapport with the students, but which is basically to start off with communication opportunities. Maybe could you share what were some difficulties that you face when you tried to interact with certain students which may have special needs or have really some how should I put it, some character issues. But let's start off with maybe special needs.
Okay.
Let's start off with special needs.
Okay, special needs. Honestly, this group of students, first of all, it is my duty or my job to know how they work. Because every special needs kid has their strengths and has their signature characteristics, which is for us who are neurotypical, who are regular functioning adults, right? We need to understand why they do or see things the way they do. So that's why it's really important for teachers to be educated ourselves, right? On the different characteristics of the different special needs that we see nowadays, like special educational needs. So I've encountered many students with Asperger's in our school. So one thing, one off the cuff, one characteristic is they're very rigid with the way they see things. They once they see things in a certain way, it is difficult to maneuver that point of view. However, it is also that's where we need to know what it is that they are fixed on. Like for instance, I'm trying to think of a student now. Okay, currently I have a student in my FCE class who has, I would think, autism. He's on the spectrum.
Yeah.
Um, he displays two different characteristics. One, he is wonderfully, how should I say, he just performs really well when there's a practical. He listens to instructions. He asks things within the context that's required of him, and he's very on task to the point whereby if he knows, as you know, because he's playing maybe partner A for today, right? That's his role, and in partner A has to do some washing, he will see to it that it's done. To the point where even though his partner wants to help him, he says no because it's his duty. But the thing is, that is I would say, the A star performing side of him. Now, he has a bit of a issue with listening during theory. The reason being is because sometimes when he looks around and he sees that, oh, my other classmates are also talking, so I can do the same thing. So basically, he will follow what is happening around the class.
Okay.
And his following, he will exaggerate that action.
Okay.
So he hears people sometimes making a joke or comment, he will purposely poke fun at that person and also he thinks that it's also a big joke and a big comment that he needs to make. So that's where, if let's say I was not informed about what he's like and what the characteristics of someone with autism is like, when they react that way, I would immediately want to discipline him all the time, right? I may put him outside class or sit down on the floor away from everybody. But because I know, I take the time to touch base with him.
Yeah.
Okay, so that means it delays my lesson a little bit, but at least it helps for that few minutes, and then he's okay. But I have to keep coming into him again. A, affirm him when he's doing fine. B, before lesson starts, ground him as to what is expected. Because then I know that for someone who is on the spectrum, the minute they know what's expected, they tend to follow it better. So this is again come from background knowledge. If I didn't know, I wouldn't be able to respond as I need to support this child's learning. Because at the end of the day, I want him to come away learning something too. Not be always stuck in the detention corner or being reprimanded for doing something that actually comes naturally to him because that's the way he sees the world.
Okay.
So that's for people who are, my student now who is on the spectrum. And I've got those who with character issues, or rather, maybe we still keep with special needs. Okay, I've got one who's got, ODD is opposition defiance disorder.
Yes.
Yes, so this child, he is not aggressive in class. He doesn't outwardly show his defiance.
Right.
He's very passive.
Okay.
So I can give him an instruction, or any teacher can give him an instruction, and he won't do it. He'll say, yes, I'll do it, but he will just don't do it because he doesn't want to do it.
Right.
So it's only surfaced when, let's say, assignments need to be handed up. And then when he needs to hand up the assignment, of course, it's not done. And that's when all the subject teachers will come to me. And that's how I learned that this boy is showing his defiance in a passive way. So I had to have many conversations with him. And the conversations with him run along the lines of identifying when he has not shown defiance. So, for example, one day, I think his math teacher said, today, this boy, he did not complete everything that was supposed to be done in class. However, he did at least one of the questions. Then I said, isn't that great? One of the questions said, both of us agreed it was a good thing because his math teacher also knows about his ODD and also began to understand that it's passively shown. So from not wanting to do any math, that one day he did one sum. I purposely looked out for him dares to tell him, today your teacher told me something good about you. And that's when he started to take more attention to what I say. Because I told him, I said, he told me that you did at least one question from not doing anything at all. And he was surprised that I actually, knew about that. Another big win for him this year so far, he also used to show his defiance on school rules by coming late because things don't go his way at home. Okay, and his mother shared with me her challenges trying to get him to go to school on time. So I was thinking there must be a way to encourage him. Then of course I think on the home front, his mom found a way to get him to come to school from not wanting to come on time or sometimes just wanting to skip school. So he started to come to school on time every now and then. And whenever he came on time, I said, good on you today, you're on time, because he was sitting at the parade square. And I just looked up to say this to him every time I saw him. Then this semester, one whole week, the first week, he was on time all the time. Immediately, I pulled him aside. I said, excellent. What are you doing now that is getting you to school on time? He just says, I wake up on time. And I said, it's a big change. I said, fantastic, and also I said, you keep doing this, keep up doing this. And frankly, I think it had to do with the award he received for semester 1. We were giving away all the character awards. So resilience was one of them. I nominated him for the reason that he decided, no matter how hard it was, he still kept on coming to school regularly and on time. And that's what I told the whole class. That's why he's getting this Resilient Award. Ever since then, and I pray to God it continues. He's been coming to school on time, and no problem. His mom doesn't call me now and say, hey, he's not coming to school. So I think it matters to a student when they know they are seen and recognized by the teacher, even with their special need.
Amazing story. And I like the part where you focused on the idea of catching the students doing good and building on the fact that you caught him doing good to give him positive affirmation.
That's something
so that he can work on that good thing that he has already done and keep
it up,
improving on it. And eventually, like what you have mentioned, that particular boy actually improved so much that I think he comes to school more regularly
and on time.
And he behaves better in class as well. For students who have probably ASD, for those who are on the spectrum, again, it goes back to understanding
the behavior.
The behavior, and understanding that student first before we adjust what we need to do accordingly.
To tailor our instruction to meet them.
Correct. But I also remembered you saying that clear expectations and routines for students with ASD especially
is a must.
Is a must, and even more important than regular students lah.
It applies to all students, but I think more so for them. They really need to know what you want from them.
Correct. They need to know. They really need to know, and perhaps we might even need to put it in a more visual manner for them, so that they can see that expectations and routines constantly during the lesson. So I think all in all, right, it is the rapport that is being built with the two examples that you have just shared that help to change the learning behavior of those two students. But it comes back to the idea of interacting with them first, spending time to find opportunities to communicate with them, so that the rapport is being built. But of course, in these two examples, there is probably a need to spend even more time compared to a regular student. So I guess there's no shortcut.
Nope, there's no shortcut.
It seems like
it takes a lot of
no magic pill or formula.
No. It takes a lot of effort from the teacher. I don't make it, I mean, it's so obvious, right? Because no one knows this at the drop of the hat. It takes some learning. It also takes effort. It also takes a lot of patience with myself, because sometimes you wonder, what am I doing wrong? But actually, it's just time.
Correct.
They
correct.
just need time to understand us as much as we want to understand them. So we cannot
Yeah.
also speed up the process.
Yeah.
It has to go at the pace that the student is able to go at also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then in order for us to do that, right, I think we have to question our own beliefs on what does it mean to be a educator.
Yes.
Yeah. What does it mean to be helping our students to become better learners? Yeah. In order for us to want to invest the time to communicate and interact with them, to build that rapport
Yes.
that we know that is so important to help our students be more open towards learning.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe let's move on to the next thing that I would like to talk about.
Okay.
Our school has been talking about assessment literacy for the past 6 to 7 months. And one of the key cornerstones for assessment, right, is the feedback that the teachers should give to the students,
Yeah.
as well as what the students should give to themselves. Do you have any advice or things which you'd like to share with our audience on how can we give feedback in such a way that is actually more motivational for the student to want to take that feedback to take action? Because we can just say the feedback out, but if the student interprets the feedback in a negative way, he might not want to take action. If he doesn't want to take action on the feedback, actually he's not closing the learning gap, he's not improving. Yeah. So what ideas do you have?
Okay, when it comes to academics, the same strategy more or less applies. We start with the positive. In other words, if I look at a student's activity that he's done or paper that he's done, I look at how I can give the feedback from a positive angle first before I go on to the areas where he needs to work on. So usually it's really the choice of words and point of view. So let's say if a student gets 10 out of 100, I look at the track record of the student. If the student has been scoring or not been doing well at all, and 10 out of 100 is like one of his better numbers that he scored, I'll actually give him a good.
Yep.
I'll actually tell him that this is great. I guess most students might think like, why is this good? I said 10 is better than nothing.
Yeah.
That's what I usually tell them. Again, I pick this up, of course, from courses I've attended, but it makes sense. When I recognize them for the 10 points rather than the 90 points that they don't know. Yes, they know they don't know 90 points, but let's look at the 10 that they know and affirm them first to show them that with whatever effort you have put in, you have achieved this much. And it goes both ways. For the student who is who genuinely doesn't understand, and that's why they got 10. And to students who did not put in effort and they got the 10. So the students who didn't put in effort, as in like didn't study, right? And they got 10. I usually turn it around and say, imagine if you studied. This would be multiplied. What do you think? Again, I will ask them. So it depends on you need to know the history of the student's performance and not just talk about how they did at that point. Because every student would have developed from a certain point to the time that you've seen. What you see now is not the end point or the beginning. It is somewhere along their journey. Whatever is their mark that they get. So I always start with positively affirming them or coming from a positive angle, and then I look at areas I tell them how they want to improve. I usually ask them, what do you think you can do differently? Or how do you think you can improve on this? And wait for them to say something and then pick on the conversation from there. But let the students take ownership of what they can do. Then I am helping rather than I spoon feed and say, you must do this. Before I go into you must do this, let's hear what the student has to say. And then I build on it with my suggestions.
Yeah, I like the part where you say start with the positive when we give feedback. So it goes back to leveraging the idea of positive communication with the students first.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not just saying things that or the parts that they did not achieve well or did not do well. Yeah, because I think when you start with the positive, all right, you soften the heart of the student, and it gets him a little bit more ready to
Want to listen to more,
listen
yeah.
to where are the areas that he can actually make the improvement.
Be better.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I think it's a great tactic, okay, to again pull the heartstrings of the students to help them be more ready to listen to the areas that he need to actually take action on, to close the learning gap and actually make the improvements to learn better.
And
Yeah.
that's another thing. I whatever I do with whether it's building rapport, giving feedback,
Yeah.
academic or non-academic, I follow this philosophy.
Yeah.
I reach into your heart to get to your mind. That is my teaching philosophy. Because the only way to nurture a child, whether it's academically, character-wise, you need to connect with the heart. And then you can start molding the mind. So that's something that I discovered works for all students. It even works for, peer-to-peer relationships. Like I'm talking about working with teachers to reach students that we teach, together. So as a form teacher, I put it on myself to also know who are the subject teachers, because I think it's fair. It will help the subject teachers understand the students who are in my form class better. So again, it's an opportunity for me to help my students by reaching out to my colleagues and telling them that if this particular student acts up this way, this is a better way of maybe getting to know him, or managing this behavior, so that you don't end up getting so upset about the situation. Because I've had several teachers come to me with same names, and then I usually tell them that they're not the only ones that actually face this. So don't feel don't think that it's only your subject. But this is how he can be managed better. See what happens, and then of course, as a form teacher, I see how I can support in terms of not the subject matter, of course, but to support in terms of student behavior. So what I do is that I also have conversations with these boys whose names are always brought up. And I ask them simple questions like why, or do you is it something in that's happening in the lesson that you don't agree with or you don't understand, because your teacher is trying to teach you. You need to give your teacher a chance as well. So I think even teacher to teacher, we have this how should I say, I don't like to say duty, but more of like teamwork, to support each other so that we can build the student together. So that's another angle to be brought in. I want to build rapport with my student, but I also need to build rapport with my colleague to help my student. I mean, that's how I see it.
I like I really like your quote about reaching into the heart to get to your mind. And I think I want to use it, okay, with my class leaders, because sometimes I notice when they actually give feedback or give advice or get their classmates to do certain things, sometimes the words that come out from their mouths can be quite curt. So I think this is a very good, quote, okay, which I can tell them.
Go ahead.
Okay, which I can tell them,
useful.
so as to get them to actually start off with something more positive in their conversation with their classmates, so that they can actually get them to be more motivated to do class project and class work together as a team. So I think all in all, the key idea is that in order for everyone to learn better, we have to actually work as a team.
Definitely.
And in order to work as a team, the idea of, I won't say the idea of, I think the rapport is essential. Rapport is essential.
Definitely.
And before rapport comes in, again, it goes back to interaction, which means to say we must talk. And we must talk in a way and communicate in a way that is reciprocal towards each other,
and
respectful towards each other.
Exactly.
So that is, I think, what communication means. Otherwise, it's a channel, isn't it? Whereby I, as the person in authority, just say what you must
Exactly.
be
And then you
doing,
must do that.
and I
Yeah.
expect you to do. And I don't think it really works in today's day and age anymore.
Oh.
Yeah. So that is why I think it's really good that we talk about how we can build interaction and routines, and why is it so important in education today.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I think we spoke a lot already, and I think we probably can end today's episode. But
Okay.
before we end today's episode, I always invite my guests to share a nugget of wisdom or a word of advice to our audience. Would you happen to have
Oh,
any thing or one thing that our audience can take away from what you have shared today?
I think it would be back to my teaching philosophy.
Mm,
Always remember that the students in our care
okay,
are people.
right.
That's why reaching into their hearts, you will get to their minds.
All right. Okay. Well
That's it.
said.
Yeah.
Simple, easy to
Just
understand.
remember that.
Right. Thank you so much. And I agree with that, because students don't know how much you know until they know how much you care.
Yes.
Yeah.
Totally true.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, well, thank you so much, Mary,
Raymond.
for all your sharing. And I hope that our audience today can take away with what Mary has shared. So, if you like today's episode, give a like, share, and subscribe. And we will see you in the next one. Bye bye.